Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. In today's video we will be learning how to crochet this granny square tote bag. For this project I used 3 different sets of colors. I chose white for the center of the granny square. This is what I have left over from my previous project. For the flower part of the stitch I used a brighter color. Now you can use any color of your choice for the flower stitch, but you do want to make sure that you pick a lighter color for the border of the granny square, because we want the colors of our flower to stand out. And this would be the main color for our granny square. I also used a 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a darning needle to weave in the ends. We're going to start with the center of the granny square with the color white. Now make a slip knot, whichever way you prefer. I stopped using the magic circle for the center of my granny squares because they kept coming off, so this is the new method that I am using right now. After making your slip knot, you're going to chain 4, and then you're going to join with a slip stitch in the first chain. Now we're going to work our first round of stitches into the center of the chain that we just joined. So first of all we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to work 12 single crochets into the center of the chain. I'm at the end of my first round. Now I'm just going to count back the stitches just to make sure that I have 12 stitches. And then I'm going to join with a slip stitch in the top of the first single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1 and cut off my yarn. Don't forget to leave at least 4 or 5 inches of a tail before you cut off the yarn. Okay, now I'm just going to pull on the tail to close off the center of this stitch. I'm just going to quickly weave in the ends and I'll come back for round 2. For round 2 we're going to be switching to our second color. I will be using this purple color for the flower part of the stitch. Now go ahead and make a slip knot and place it on your hook. And then we're going to insert our hook into any one of the single crochet stitches. We then yarn over and pull a loop through the stitch, and we're going to make a single crochet stitch. Now for the second stitch we're going to do what we call the popcorn stitch. To do the popcorn stitch we're going to yarn over and insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull a loop through, and work 1 double crochet. Okay, we're going to work 4 more double crochets into the same stitch. After working your 5th double crochet stitch, you're going to pull up a loop about 1 or 2 inches long and remove your hook, and we're going to go back to our first double crochet stitch, and we're going to insert our hook from the front to the back of that double crochet stitch, and we're going to come over to where we have our loop that we left on the 5th double crochet stitch. We're going to insert our hook into that loop from the front to the back, and we're going to pull that loop back into the top of the first double crochet stitch. While doing so, you can tug on the working yarn to tighten your stitch so that you don't have too much of a gap in between. Okay, once that's done, we're going to chain 1 to secure our popcorn stitch. This is how it should look like. Now we're going to pull back the popcorn stitch so that we can be able to see the next stitch that we're going to be working our stitch into. A lot of times the stitches below tend to hide under the clusters, so to avoid the mistake of skipping a stitch, we have to pull back on the cluster so that we are inserting our hook into the right stitch. Now into the next stitch, we're going to insert our hook and work 1 single crochet stitch. Okay, into the next stitch, we're going to repeat the pattern, which is the popcorn stitch. So yarn over and work 5 double crochets into the same stitch. After your 5th double crochet, pull up a loop about 1 or 2 inches long, remove your hook and insert it into the top of the first double crochet from the front to the back. Come over to where you have your loop and insert your hook into the loop from the right to the left. Tug on the working yarn and hold steady, and pull that loop back into the top of the first double crochet stitch. Now chain 1 to secure the stitch. Okay, now we're going to pull back on the cluster so that we can be able to see the next stitch that we will be working into. Into the next stitch, we're going to work 1 single crochet, and that would be the repeat pattern for this round. So we start with a single crochet, followed by a popcorn stitch, and so on and so forth. I'm at the last popcorn stitch. Because we started with a single crochet stitch, we should end with a popcorn stitch. So go ahead and finish that last popcorn stitch, and we're going to work a slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet stitch. Now in total you should have 6 popcorn clusters to make up the flower petals of our granny square. Now we're going to chain 1 and cut off our yarn, because we will be changing to our third color, which is the main color of a granny square. So this is how the flower stitch should look like. Again, you should have a total of 6 popcorn clusters to make up the flower petals, and 6 single crochets in between each cluster. We're going to get the third color, which is the main color of a granny square. Make a slip knot and place it over your hook, and we want to insert it into the first single crochet stitch, or it can be any one of the single crochet stitches between the popcorn cluster. Okay, so insert your hook into the single crochet stitch, yarn over and pull a loop through the slip knot. Now we're going to chain 3, which will count as our first double crochet. And then we're going to work 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. So for this round we are working all our stitches into the single crochet stitches between the clusters and the chain ones above the popcorn stitches. Now into the chain 1 just above the first popcorn stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, we're going to repeat the pattern again. Into the next single crochet stitch between the popcorn stitches, we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. Now into the chain 1 stitch above the next popcorn stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, we will repeat this pattern all the way around, and when you get back I will show you how to start on the square part of this granny square. Okay, I'm at the end of the round. Now we're going to join this round with a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. Now we're going to start with the actual granny square. To begin, we will start by chaining 3, which will count as our first double crochet. And then we're going to work 2 more double crochets into the same stitch to form the first corner of our granny square. Now we chain 2 and then we work 3 more double crochets into the same stitch. Our first corner is done. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. Just finished my 5th double crochet. Now I'm going to start on the 2nd corner of my granny square. So I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, which is the 6th stitch, and I'm going to work 3 double crochet stitches in this same stitch. Now we're going to chain 2 and work 3 more double crochets into the same stitch. So for each corner of our granny square, we always work 3 double crochet stitches followed by a chain 2 and then another 3 double crochet stitches into the same stitch. Second corner is done. Now I'm going to work 1 double crochet into each of the next 5 stitches, and that would be the repeat pattern for this round. So keep working those stitches, and when you get back I will show you how to do the final round for this granny square. I am back at the start. Now I'm going to work a slip stitch into the top of the 3rd chain to close off this round. Okay, this is how your granny square should look like for round 4. Now we're going to work slip stitches into the next 2 double crochet stitches. And we're also going to work a slip stitch into the chain 2 space to prepare for round 5. Round 5, we're going to start by chaining 3, which will count as our first double crochet, and we're going to work 2 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space. Now we chain 2 and work 3 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet into each of the next 11 stitches. I'm at my 2nd corner. Now I'm going to work 3 double crochets into this chain 2 space. Now I'm going to chain 2 and work 3 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space. So this is where our repeat pattern starts. We work 3 double crochets in the chain 2 space, a chain 2, and another 3 double crochets in the same chain 2 space, followed by 1 double crochet into each of the next 11 stitches. We will repeat this pattern all the way around, and when we get back I'll show you what to do next. Okay, I made it all the way to the end where I have the 3 slip stitches. I'm just gonna work my 1 double crochets into each of them to complete this round. Okay, now we're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of the 3rd chain. And that's it, round 5 is done. We're going to chain 1 and cut off our yarn and fasten off. Okay, so this is how your granny square should look like once you're done with it. You're gonna need 13 of this to be able to make the tote bag. So we're going to make 12 more of this, and when we get back I will show you how to assemble them for joining. Okay, after completing all 13 pieces of your granny squares, this is how you're going to assemble each of them. To join the squares, you have to sew on the inside so no rough edges are showing on the outside of the bag. I joined my squares using single crochet stitches, so if you want a separate tutorial for that, you can leave a comment down below. Okay, now I'm going to attach my strap to my bag. If you want to make a similar strap like this, I have another tutorial which I will leave a link in the description below, so you can go and check that out if you're interested. Yeah, I'm just gonna attach this strap to the bag using single crochet stitches, so you can watch and follow if you're also using the same strap that I'm using. Again, I'm going to be joining on the inside so that the rough edge of the stitch doesn't show on the outside. Okay, so I've already attached the first half of the strap to my bag. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side of the bag. Here we have the finished bag. This is what it should look like after you join all the pieces together. And that, my friends, is the end of our tutorial. Please feel free to share with your friends and family, and also don't forget to leave a like and comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.